Hi, my name is Alicia Holmquist Posner, and I am going to be telling you today about Bitmojis. Bitmojis for creating culture and continuity in the virtual classroom. And this is a presentation for WAFLT 2020, which is it's a virtual conference. What's a Bitmoji? There's my Bitmoji right behind the camera. So there she is. So before we start, I'm just going to go over who I am. So there's my virtual self, my avatar, my Bitmoji. And my Bitmoji says, "Hi, my name is Alicia. I teach German." So most of the examples in this presentation are going to be German related. It's my 8th year teaching overall, and it's my 8th year at Enumclaw High School. Here's a picture of Enumclaw. We are out next to Mount Rainier, and it's quite pastoral here and beautiful. It's nice to be next to the mountain all the time, except for when you're driving to work and you keep thinking about how it's actually an active volcano. Anyway, I'm currently the department head of our world language department. I'm on the tech team here, which means I Google a lot of tech questions. That's how I get through. And I'm also the current president of the AATG Washington, which is the American Association of Teachers of German Washington chapter. And I admit it, I am obsessed with my Bitmoji. I am obsessed with Bitmoji in general. I use it to talk to my friends, to my family, to my husband, and to my students. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Students. So what am I going to go over in this presentation? What the heck is a Bitmoji? Maybe you don't know what it is. You know, it's that little cartoon person up in the corner there, but that's about it. How do you create one if you don't have one yet? How to create one? Why use it for teaching at all? It's not a tech or an educational tool. It's a tool that we're using in education. Not necessarily was it made for that, as you will see later. Some of them are quite racy. And why are Bitmoji cool for teaching world languages in particular? How are Bitmojis used in teaching in general? There's lots of different ways, not just to populate and make your presentations cute. I have 3 tutorials for us on how to make a signature in your email using your Bitmoji, how to make a banner for Classroom, that's our LMS, our learning management system that we use is Google Classroom. We're a Google school, so all of my presentations are with Google, but luckily enough, Google and YouTube can provide any answers on how to upload to Canvas, how to upload to Schoology, any LMS that you're using, or if you're using Outlook, how to use your email signature for that. All you have to do is Google it, and there will be the answer for you, I'm sure. How to create a banner, of course, I do this in Google Classroom, and I also do this in Google Forms, and also how to create your own virtual classroom that you can send your students. And last but not least, I have some group suggestions or who to follow on social media in order to get a leg up on these Bitmojis. So first of all, what is Bitmoji? Well, it's your personal emoji. I'm going to let this lady do the talking.
In the real world, we communicate like this, with facial expressions and spoken words. In the messaging world, we rely on tiny text bubbles and the occasional emoji. We've lost that warmth, that human touch. Until now. Hello, I'm a Bitmoji. What the heck is that? It's your personal emoji or sticker. In the Android or iPhone Bitmoji app, you customize a digital cartoon to look like yourself. Then you pick from various scenes and expressions and you send it to a friend in a message. See how much more expressive they are than emojis and plain text? By the way, Bitmojis aren't actually animated like me. Oh, you think this is just for 12-year-olds? No. According to Bitmoji co-founder Bob Blackman, whole families use Bitmoji to communicate now. Teens, parents, grandparents, everyone. Making a Bitmoji like me is free, but it's all part of a booming digital sticker business. Line a popular...
Fantastic. So it's a digital sticker and you create it to look like you. So how do you create it? Another video real quick.
Well, I'm girl, so I'll hit girl. You're nose.
Big schnoz.
So you could do this and this, this. Hairstyle. There's the bun. You like it? I like it too.
Oh, there it is.
Bushy eyebrows. Check. My size.
Oh, they have a lot of color eyes. This is crazy. Do people have all these colors of eyes?
Ears. Oh, I got big ones.
Body type. Weird and gangly. Let's see what we got. Oh, Bitmoji gets me, man.
Let's see. We'll go. Oh dear. They have my chin.
All right, clothes. Here we go. Wow, I didn't know there was such variety.
Oh my goodness. So I can't put highlights in there. That's cool.
Oh, here we go. Freckles.
Eyeshadow. Oh.
It's starting to take shape right now, you know.
That's it? Yes. Oh wow.
Perfect. It's me.
Oh my gosh, look at me. It really looks like a little mini me.
It actually looks like me. Oh my God.
Bitmoji. Here I am.
I had to include that video because it just makes me happy. The diversity is amazing, and I love watching to see what kind of Bitmojis they create. So here's my Bitmoji. This blue sweater is actually my classroom sweater. It gets really cold in my classroom, so it lives in my classroom. So I wear the blue sweater a lot. I always have my hair up. I usually wear a headband, truthfully. I literally came to school today with this on, not remembering I was going to be talking about my Bitmoji and how it also had a headband. And I wear Birkenstocks most of the time. Unfortunately, there were no Birkenstocks in Bitmoji for me, but there are sandals. And not only do I do German and German Club, but I'm also our school co-advisor for the GSA. So I've got my little rainbow heart t-shirt on. Now, to get a Bitmoji, you do need to have a cell phone. So you need your cell phone and you need to download the app. It's completely free. You can Android, iPhone, it doesn't matter. But as long as you get the app looks like this here. That's the icon for the app. Of course, my little gal is standing right above it. And this is where you're going to create your Bitmoji. You need to create an account and a Bitmoji. After that, you can actually add it to Chrome. You can add it to your email address. It's super cool because directly from my email, I can insert a Bitmoji, or from Chrome, it'll be up on the top banner. I can just click there and I can find any Bitmoji to insert into anything that I'm creating at the moment, which is pretty cool. So you can see the diversity that you can get, different body types, different chest sizes, which was kind of fun to play around with, hair, noses, chins. It's really endless. Also, the clothing. Not only do they have these generic outfits, but they also have like actual brand name things like Gucci, and there are Adidas and Nike, and if you're a fan of football, they have football jerseys, they have soccer jerseys, they have hockey jerseys. So it's pretty cool. You can definitely customize it to make it really look like you. And I've found that most of my friends that have Bitmojis, I can really tell that it's them. And I mean, here's my red glasses. My little gal has red glasses, and yeah, I call her my little gal. Why use Bitmoji for teaching? I mean, you've got it downloaded. Maybe you send it to your kids, your family members, your friends, and you use it that way as stickers in your emails or as stickers on social media. Well, Bitmoji is actually really useful for school too. Students can see you when we're virtual, and it's a nice, non-threatening way to do that. It's also much easier than taking pictures of yourself and uploading it. We at my school are completely virtual right now, and our district is having us make modules, and I'm inserting my Bitmoji into these modules so that they see me, and I Zoom with them as well, and they know what I look like, they know who I am. But these little Bitmojis just remind them that I'm there with them and I'm there for them too. And I allow my students, whenever we do some sort of get to know you, I had sent out a set of slides earlier asking them for a picture of themselves and of their favorite hobby for a CI picture talk. And I said, if you would like to insert a picture of yourself, or you could use your Bitmoji or your avatar, because it's really safe for them to be using that and not their actual picture. And I say that's always an option. I like to use my Bitmoji on Zoom as well as my little pictures, so that when I don't have my camera going, I have my Bitmoji up there. And I find it's just nice. It's just a nice way to remind people that you're there. I also use my Bitmoji to create continuity over all of my tech gadgets. So I am using it in Google Classroom, in my email, on Remind Text, on Google Forms, on Google Slides. I use it on everything, and the kids know to expect it. And they open it up and they say, yep, that's it. I use the same text font for everything, and I use my Bitmoji for everything. And I make sure that it looks clean and appropriate. So that really creates continuity for them. And they know in this virtual world, when they open this up, that it's German class. It fosters a good social emotional learning, because these things, I mean, kids are so used to memes these days and GIFs. They're really in a virtual world and in a visual world. And these seeing these smiling faces shining out at them from their module is really a good way to help them with their social emotional learning, especially in this virtual learning world. Bitmoji is just fun. That's all I have to say. It's just fun, and it builds community within your classroom, but also with your family as well and friends. They also work well with languages. So this is what I have found. It's really cool to use the German Bitmoji with my German students, especially when I'm communicating with them. So the other languages that are available for Bitmoji is French, Spanish, German, Arabic, Brazilian Portuguese, Japanese, and Korean. And the trick is that you need to change your language settings in your phone to get that. So I have Bitmoji on my phone. It is an app, and when I pull it up, all of my Bitmojis are in German. There they are. Oh, so cute. Du schaffst das, which means you can do it in German. How cool is that to be able to send to one of my students via email? Like, you can do it. I know you've got 25 missing assignments, but you've got this. You can do it. Oh, my lights just went out. They're on a timer. All right, so like I showed on my little screen here, here are some of these world language Bitmojis with the example of German. So you can see here we've got all of our pandemic Bitmojis, schön Hände waschen, Luftumarmung. And because they're so visual, the kids don't need to know that Luftumarmung is like a virtual hug, right? But they can see that too. Vermiss dich, I miss you, video chat. So that's in English. The Germans like to use English too, like here. So sometimes you'll see that. But really, it's invaluable for learning another language. Another tip, and I'm going to exit out of my presentation here, is here you can see where my Bitmoji is in my browser. I have added the Chrome extension. All you have to do is go to the Chrome Web Store. You just Google that, and you can add the free extension, and it pops up right here in your browser so that you can just click there and you can search. Now, when I use my phone and I use my Bitmoji in the phone and I want to insert one of my German Bitmojis, the only way I've found to do that is to copy and paste it into something that'll get it to my computer. So whether you're using email for that, or I use Facebook Messenger actually to send myself German Bitmojis to then copy and paste into my presentations. And actually that's worked very well because I have now like a treasure trove of German Bitmojis in my Facebook Messenger. I just click on my own name and then there they are. I just keep using the same ones. And I found that to be the easiest for me, actually. So here, there's a trick here. You can search. You can also just browse. Here's some waving, saying, hi, how are you? All of these different emotions here. You can just browse. If you're looking for something in particular, you can actually just write it. Now, I've been using these in my modules, and we are going by weekly modules. So it's like week 1, week 2, week 3. So I've created some that say things like week 2. So I might use this one for week 2. Or if I'm feeling a little cheeky, maybe I'll be using the dabbing one. Or something like this. This is a great one too with the apple. It reminds them of school. I wouldn't use this one because she's coming out of a toilet, right? So you don't want to use that one. And don't use that one because it's not, hey, we're number 1. It's actually the middle finger. So you've really got to be careful with these. And I would never assign an assignment where I was asking them to use Bitmoji because they're a little dangerous. Some of them are a little risque. Like down here, you can see she's got some poop with a bow on the top, and I don't want anyone using that. There are also some that are a little bit more risque. There's a Bitmoji on a stripper pole, for example. So you got to stay away from those ones and just use the ones, pick and choose the ones that are safe for school. The other thing is that unfortunately with these kinds of things, with these emojis, these Bitmojis, children, students use them as kind of a secret language. And so don't ever use this here because that represents male anatomy. Don't ever use eggplants. Don't ever use a peach. That's like your backside. So don't use a peach. So those are just some things to think about. Like you have to be kind of aware of that. So if you're wondering what other emojis represent things that are a little naughty, totally just Google it. Just Google it and it'll come up with a list. No problem. All right. So what was I saying before? Yes, I was using Woche 2, and that is meaning week 2. Notice now that I've typed it in a second time, it comes up with different pictures. If you don't like the pictures that are coming up here, I just cut and paste it again and look for new pictures. Again, banana, probably not going to use it. But here, hey, it's a cat and Frau crying. I go by Frau in my class, or maybe here, Woche 2, or Woche 2, or Woche 2. Oh, kind of like this one. So you just copy it and paste it into your paste into your presentation. When you make these specialty ones, they have a little watermark. That's how you know that they're made especially for you or with a new language. It's always capitalized too when you make them, by the way, just so you know, because capitalization is important in German and other languages. So always capitalized there. So that's why it's cool for teaching world language. How do I use it in my teaching? I use it in my communication a lot. So for example, du rockst, you rock. This is not only super adorbs, like really cute, but it's also reinforcing the endings to the verbs, the conjugations, du rockst. So I would put that in an email, for example. Or I use remind texts, and I always include here my Bitmoji. This one says think about it, like remember, denk dran. And it says reminder that your module is due by midnight if you haven't turned it in yet. So I send communications like that. Also, I use it in my email signature. So this pops up at the bottom of my email. And I actually used this Bitmoji and then was in Word. I inserted it into Word and then created a text box that said Guten Tag, like hello. And then I took a screenshot of it and then added the text, took a screenshot of the whole thing, and then added it to my signature. So super easy. The link still works. And it's super, super cute. I like it. My lessons within the module, I will use my Bitmoji, like I mentioned, up in the banner. I will use it to remind them things. So here we're pointing at, the due date of our module. I will amend them as well, change them up, because this was my Bitmoji with some regular balloons, and I've made them Quizlet balloons to go with my Quizlet assignment. And then I'll use them for banners. So this is what that banner looks like. Here's my banner for my virtual field trip. It's always the same one. I don't change it. And this Bon Voyage banner, or this Bon Voyage Bitmoji, is just a regular Bitmoji. And I inserted a background there. And that's just a picture that I found on the internet that worked. Here's my Google Classroom banner. That's what it looks like. And also, I'll show you a few more later, but I use it also for my attendance. And then this is what it looks like in my module. I know that keeps coming up there. I'll give it a moment. There we go. And you can see how I wrote Woche 4, week 4. And then my Bitmoji's like, yeah, fear. Not that they have fear of my module, but yeah, week 4. All right, so how can we use it in teaching other ways? I'm just going to show you this article because I found it incredibly interesting, what people are doing with Bitmoji in the classroom. You can do a virtual open house. You can do your expectations for an assignment or Google Meet. It's just so versatile. You can turn it into an anchor chart. When is it okay to interrupt me? If I've won $1 million, if I've won coffee, sometimes that feels like $1 million. You can do a virtual field trip. I do a virtual field trip in Google Forms, but you could use your virtual classroom for a virtual field trip. You can create an escape room. You can create a library. Maybe you want to make your Bitmoji 3D. You really need to have Snapchat in order to do that. Snapchat, you can also make your Bitmojis dance, which is kind of cool. Kind of fun. You can print stickers, reward stickers. High schoolers like stickers too. So I do that. I've done this too as well. You can put yourself on your door. You can reinforce rules. It's just endless, really cool things that you can do with your Bitmoji. And like I said, it creates continuity so that they know who you are and what class they're in. So let's see a few others. Classroom, here we've got our sticks, the nonverbal praise. Your door again. Greeting students at the door, showing them how. Birthday presents, I think that's really neat. Posters, classroom signs. Sending your Bitmoji home. This has become very, very, very popular in elementary, that people are doing a flat teacher kind of thing, like a flat Stanley project where you take your teacher around and take pictures with it. It's just super cool. And then this last one is all about in the foreign language classroom. And I even learned some things from here. It's pretty neat. Like, you could have a virtual Q&A. What's in the box? Or who's our guest today? Who's behind the door? Or where are we right now? Ask me 20 questions about where we could be right now. Practice your question asking skills. Here is another, this was sent out to my school district. These are Spanish language books. You just click on the book and it will take you to either a YouTube reading of it or a virtual book. It's pretty cool. And another is my colleague across the hall there. She actually sends these out in email to her students. Since we're virtual, she'll send them out in email to her students on their birthday. So it's just neat because it's not an aggressive picture of you. It's not creepy in any way. It's very familiar. Kids are so used to memes. It's just a nice way to connect with them. Next, I will be showing you how to do an email signature. So this is what my email looks like. Here's an example from my friend Anna, who teaches at Mount Si High School. This is her Bitmoji signature with her dog, Ted, which I think is pretty awesome. You can see here she teaches German and Avid. Sorry, we're not in Avid school. And here's another teacher from my school, a little bit more simple. So she teaches math here, and she just has her Bitmoji head. So for the sake of time, I'm actually going to skip over this, but I did make a video here on how to create your Bitmoji signature. It's 5 minutes and 36 seconds, which is about how much time I have left in this presentation. So this is all linked in my materials for the presentation, so you guys will be able to access this. Here is the top of my Google Classroom, the banner. Unfortunately, there's no way to get the gray overlay off of that. There's been lots of discussion on Facebook on how to do that in our Bitmoji groups, but it doesn't look too bad. I always use flags in all of my banners just to remind the kids, to create that continuity. There's my virtual field trip again. When I do things like reflections, I will also always make sure to use my flags and then a Bitmoji. Here's what my attendance looks like every day. It looks the same. It's got the "Bist du hier? Are you here?" And as an example, my colleague next door, he teaches Spanish. He has created banners for each of his classes and actually used the animal Bitmojis and assigned each of his classes a different animal, like los tigres and osos, the bears, and I think that's pretty cool. And then he's got all the flags around the sides too. So that works pretty well for him. Here is my banner tutorial from YouTube. It's 6 minutes and 14 seconds. Last but not least is the tutorial of the classroom. So this is what my classroom looks like, my summer classroom. And each one of the items you see in this summer classroom are clickable. Clickable in terms of you will click on it and it will take you to the Apple Music website, or you will click on it and it will take you to a video about the Bundesliga soccer league. Here's something about Gap. Here's games to play, shows to watch, David the Gnome, Sesamstrasse, Sesame Street, Duolingo. So you could click all over this and actually find links to everything. Now, I used it this summer and just to help the kids keep up on their German, and it worked pretty well. I did a survey at the beginning of the year. Some of them used it, some of them didn't, but at least it was there. Now, this actual Google Classroom, somebody had posted to one of my German teacher groups and said, feel free to borrow it. So I did, because why spend a lot of time making something that, was already made? And I just tweaked it a bit to work for me. But here in a video that is 10 minutes and 43 seconds, I actually take you through how to make a Bitmoji classroom. They look daunting and they look scary, but in reality, they're actually really quite simple, and they're also quite addictive. So watch out, because I am making another one this weekend. So what kind of groups can you get into? Well, there's a specific German one, but there's also a generalized one for Bitmoji. It's called Bitmoji Craze for Educators. It is on Facebook. And I'm sure if there's a German one, there's got to be a Spanish, a French, all languages probably have them because they're so popular right now. Under this Bitmoji Craze for Educators, you can go into their files and they have tons of backgrounds, tons of different furniture for your virtual classroom, posters, chairs, desks, whiteboards, anything and everything you could ever need. So instead of Googling it yourself and spending tons of hours paring down what you would like to find, I would just go there. If you're not on Facebook, Googling is the way to go, and make sure that you are, making it look well. I taught you how to do that in my tutorial, so that's something you're going to need to watch. On Instagram, there's also Bitmoji classrooms to follow and get ideas, as well as on Twitter. Bitmoji is everywhere, all over social media. That is about it. Let's take a look. Hey, I've got 6 seconds left. What a teacher. That's amazing. So here's my alarm going off. So if you have any questions, this is my email, Alicia_Holmquist at edamclaw.wednet.edu. It is about 4:35 on a Friday, and so I am pretty much brain dead by now. But please email me with any questions. All of the links to the videos and the different resources are on my material page, and I hope that you've learned a little bit about Bitmoji. Thank you.